my review then of the first episode of Kakegurui. So what would I say? I mean, was it better? Was it better than like Kaiji? Was it better than you know, so on? I don't think so. To be honest, I think one problem here right away. As well as why didn't I watch first episode of Kaiji so much? In Kaiji, you right away feel he's like a down for his luck, poor guy. Like his life is pretty much over, right? And he gets kind of boating, he gets tricked into this boat, and then they play Janken. So it definitely reminds me of that. Yeah, I mean, it definitely reminds me of that. See to the right here, there is the Janken cards, right? So when I was watching the first episode of Kakegurui, I was like, yeah, this is very similar to Kaiji, mainly in that thing they play in the rock paper scissors, right, the Janken thing. And of course she's cheating and so on, and she understands it. I think that thing, that's not something I actually said myself. So I can't say it was too obvious it was cheating, but we kind of felt that she was cheating. So said, "Oh, you're cheating." So yeah, okay, I kind of guess that because you can cheat in these kind of games, right? The bad guys, these kind of anime. But like understanding how she was cheating, yes, it was using that guy behind her, so I was like whatever. That and she actually used the mirror thing, but I felt that to me wasn't so interesting, to be honest. Because I kind of felt that it was just kind of obvious. Okay, if you're cheating at Junken and they have this kind of random caution getting into this box, right? I just felt that okay, obviously shit's gonna be that I know the probability of the cards. That is just good. That I think the cheat in itself there was just very, very obvious. The result of it. I mean, not exactly how she was doing it, but the result is so obvious. It's gonna be like, oh, I know that 20 of the 30 cards are rocks or something. So I know not to play a sister because it's so many rocks, right? And as soon as you understand that, it's like, okay, I know you can control the probability. And then, however, though, as soon as you get into the game, you still need to actually get the, whatever scissor or paper or whatever you want to play, right? So you still lack, as you said, oh, it's like, and then scissor, yeah, obviously, because you can, even if you know the probability of everything, so 30 cards, and it's just 20 rocks, you know that, and you want to get that paper because it's so good against rocks, right? For example, and no one's going to play scissor because there's so many rocks, but you still need to get that paper. That is still random, but it's like, maybe like 5 then I suppose. You don't actually know exactly how many papers as it is, but let's say it's even then. So it's 5 papers, right? So it's 5 out of 30. So it's 1 in 6, right? To get that, what you actually need to get. Or else you can play the rocks for probably playing the rocks for just like tying out, right? So I think that's just kind of obvious, to be honest, because no matter how you cheat in that kind of game, that is pretty much shit you will do. That you will cheat. Either you have someone behind you, like telling you what she's having on her hands. That would be too an obvious shit, right? Like you can read her hands open, and obviously she's sitting with the cards like this, right? So that's what's gonna happen. Don't should be that you pretty much know what cards are in the box, right? But as again, that knowing that doesn't make you win because this is a gamble. This is like a random-based game in the sense that you have, even if you know exactly what cards you have in your deck, right? You don't know when you will draw them, so you still have that kind of that probability that already is there. So I don't know. I felt that was a very easy win for her. I think maybe I don't know, but I felt that was kind of obvious. Like she figured out that doesn't really matter so much what he's doing behind you because he probably can see your hand. He's from seeing your hand alone and her reaction and speak pattern and so on. You probably can figure out, okay, I have 2 rocks in my hand, so I guess rock is this, the rock is the major thing this time, or you can probably almost just assume it from the hand you're having, so you can probably just determine it from just, as I said, seeing her playing and, also looking at her hand. So doing those rounds, you can probably see, okay, a lot of this thing this time, or this time. So you can either find the pattern, or at least you can obviously see that she has a control of the probability of the sum value of the cards, right? So it's very much like that, and I felt that, yeah, that is so obvious, if you ask me. Regardless of if you know what he is doing behind you, you kind of know that, okay, you are doing like, max rock or something. But then as a gamble anyway. So I don't know. It was a decent game, but a problem I feel for anime generally, though, I guess the problem and a strength. This main character here, she's not very similar actually to other main characters. She's kind of evil, she's kind of whatever, likes the gambling part, but she's obsessed with the gambling more than becoming rich. So I kind of like it, kind of not like it. I mean, for the other ones, when you play them, right? It's when you see the other games, like One House and so on. When you play those, when you see those games, the main character is like, if I lose this, well, okay, in One House is kind of whatever, but but still, that if I lose this game, my life is over. They can't have that Kaiji, especially that they have like, okay, Kaji's like, my blood is, they're gonna shoot me, they're gonna kill me. Yeah, there are a lot of the, if I lose this game now, they will kill me, right? Like even Yu-Gi-Oh has it, like if I lose this game, I'm gonna flamethrower my face, right? But they have that kind of thing going for them, where it's like, okay, we're playing for real tournaments or whatever. Yeah, this game was kind of like, I think a problem here, because you can't set her up as this random snake just entering the paradise. It has a lot of money with her. The problem is that I didn't feel any tension for her, to be honest, because it's kind of like, oh, I have 10 million yen on me. I was like, okay, why? I don't know. You know, I just have a lot of money, and like, yeah, we have no. There's so maybe they will hopefully do that in the later episode. Some flashback, whatever, learning her world, right? But so far, it's like, what is 10 million for her? Because you can see she's like, oh, if I lose this, yeah, I will over 8.8 million yen. And then this Maris told me the first enemy, she's out of because she doesn't have the money. But they're all rich and so on. So what's say that she wouldn't have, 100 million yen, 1,000, billion, yeah, like so much yen in her bank that losing 10 million is like, whatever. I just carry it around in my bag. She had 10 million on her, right, because she wants to be this crazy gambler. But at the same time, that hopefully not. But it kind of feels like she could have 10 more of those back at home. I would never lost 10 million. Like that is kind of how it felt. Like she really didn't care. She just wanted to gamble, and I don't like that too much. It makes it different, but also makes her be kind of like, whatever. Right? I don't really. There's no like tension for the lose. It felt like the other had, her enemy had more like, shit, I don't have the money. If I lose someone out for it, that's like, yeah, she had more tension on that. So I don't know. Like, it's decent anime. I probably will watch it because I do still like this thing. I mean, I love games, and I love game theory and so on. And usually it's an anime. As this anime is that they cheat a lot for it. Even if he doesn't cheat, the enemy was like, yeah, he cheat here and so on. That is very Kage on me. So what Kage is, but especially Kage is love that like when he also out playing when he's like, yeah, he's cheating now like this. I'm not gonna say anything though, because I'm just gonna beat him. You don't have to go like, yeah, I know the cheat. I'm gonna trick him by using his own cheat, and like they have all of that, and that kind of felt anime go in that direction. Where they're like, yeah, I know my opponent cheating, so how can I use it against them? Right? And I liked that a lot. So that angle is great. We had a lot of like great faces and all these like weird like orgasm faces when they play card games and or they take these special faces. So that's pretty good. And obviously it looks very modern. Most older men and it's like 10 years old, so that's good. But yeah, like I think it was a decent story. I wish we had a little more of her. Probably, maybe I'm too much of a shonen. I watched shonen last time. I wanted that backstory of parents dying. Like, I don't know, but something. Hopefully next episode or two we gotta give us a little more about her, right? But I think that is needed. Maybe not. It depends, but like how they actually present the next battle and so on. But just because I don't feel tension from her side, right? If you just told me that bag she's carrying around, the only money she has, so she's pretending to be rich. That would make it wow. Like if she loses now, she's out. There has to be a slave, and that might even happen if the enemy goes to the career spoiled. But like go back and forth with being rich or poor and so on. But now it's just like she has a lot of money on her, but I don't know if the percentage of her actual wealth, right, or her backing. So I just want to know that at least, so I know the tension from her side. Or if she's just crazy. In one way, it might be really good though, the first episode, because she's like, money! Oh, it's fun to play that! She might be freaking crazy. That might actually make it better, or at least make it like diverse, or more original, that she's actually crazy. So, it's hard to say. But anyway, I think that it's a decent first episode. We have to see probably 2-3 more episodes to know it's a good, not anime. So anyway, I'll see you guys next week, and hope you enjoy this.